G'day, awesome people. Welcome back. So today's question comes from Wayne. I have some vacation time coming up, so I can train for an Ironman in June. I have 1 week to make up a training camp. How should I structure the camp? So I'm a big fan of training camps. They've got to make sense. You're just chucking in a training camp for the sake of it. So first things first, you got to look at the week leading into the training camp, and you got to look at the week leading out of the training camp. A lot of people make the mistake of having an easy week leading into it because they don't want to be too tired going into it. They'll do their training camp, and that week leading out of the training camp, they're smashed. So they have a rest week. So your training loads look horrible. So you've got poor training load 1 week, high volume the next, and poor the next. And you'll be probably better off not having the training camp and just keeping it all streamlined. So you've got to keep both those weeks in mind. I've done a few training camps for athletes now, and for myself. I've done a bit of playing around with them. I'm a big fan of trying to keeping the run close to how you normally do it, so there's not too much change in your run. Because leading into an Ironman, especially if your Ironman's in June, you will be at a higher risk of injury if we're increasing the volume, but the injuries more times than not come from the run. So if we keep the run as normal, it kind of keeps it less risk. I would be increasing the swim, and I'd be definitely increasing the bike volume, so it becomes almost a cycling training camp. I'd also be doing I got this from Alan Pittman, who's my mentor, who, when he does training camps, and he calls them boot camps, he goes 2-week-long boot camps for his training squad, where they start off every morning, and by memory, every morning at 4 a.m. every time, because the main goals for his boot camps are all trying to get all that right. You need to become stronger in the head. So he starts off every morning with core strength session, and part of that core strength session is 500 crunches, and so he does that for 2 full weeks. I'm not saying you got to do 500 crunches, but I am saying if you start off every day with a core strength session, no questions, every single morning, start off with that. I'd keep the run as normal as you normally would, as I said. I'd be in the water every single day, at minimum 2Ks every day at minimum, and with a few extra 4-5K swim sessions in that. The easy days I'd probably do more technique-centered training in the water. And then for the bike, I'd be doing a lot of volume. I'd be spending a lot of time in that aerodynamic position, really honing into that position, honing in on technique, testing a bit of nutrition, but just spending some good amount of times. And I'd be changing the sessions around. So I'd be doing one real long day one day, and then I'd be doing another day of a lot of hill work with low cadence work on that hill, staying seated if you can in that aero position, and just play around, more bike volume. So come race day, you're hopefully going to be getting off the bike in a more fresher state, so you can nail that run. If also for your run, you haven't been able to really execute that really long run really well, you can either use this week as an opportunity to increase that volume for that long run, or go for a bit of a easier bike ride before the long run, jump off the bike and then run it. One session, and you can consider that, or you do one of the sessions you could do for your brick session. I love this session. I don't know why it's just come into my head. So you do a 4-hour bike ride, just at a moderate effort. You come home, you put your bike straight onto the trainer, and you ride at race effort for 1 hour. And then you jump off the bike and you do a 12 times 1 kilometer run at race effort, but you have a 30-second walk in between each 1K. And the next day, do your long run. That's it. There's something about that session. You hate me during it. I hate the world during it. But after it, you feel the benefit. It's not only going to help you get race ready, it's going to help improve what's going on in that head. It's a really good session. I love it. I haven't done it in 100 years, but it's a good session. So if you guys have any other questions, shoot me through an email, tim@trainsmooth.com. Till tomorrow, hooroo.